What's going on, people? It's Simba, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I've been gone for a little bit, but I'm back, and this time I'm back with a week-long daily vlogs, story times with Simba. All right, these are stories, basically. I don't know, dumb shit I've done in my life, yeah, just stupid stuff, really, and that I find funny now. That I'm a little bit older and I'm looking back on them. Yeah, before we start, like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell, ding a ling a lingle, nigga. And yeah, just comment down. Oh yeah, before we start this story, I want you guys listen throughout the story and comment down like where you think everything went wrong, right? At one point, like, do you think I was past redemption? That's your homework for today while watching this video. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this story is about the second time I got suspended from school. This was back in high school. I was in 11th. Yeah, I was in 11th grade, S5, and yeah, and it was my second time getting suspended. Not my second time ever, and also my second time in the same year. Like, yeah, that year I was going crazy that year. I would tell you guys about the first one, but it's not that interesting. I just cussed out my teacher. That was pretty much it. If you do want to hear the full story, comment down below. Let me know. Maybe I'll put it in as one of these story times. But anyways, this one is so much more interesting. So it starts as my economics class is going on a field trip, and by field trip I mean like. So for those of you who know where Green Hills is, it's like right above it. Like, there's just this little hill. There's this big ass building called MTN Center, right? And there's a bunch of stuff in there. So that was our field trip. Us just walking up the hill and going in there, to go see a branch of KBC, which is a bank. Excuse me. Yeah, just to see how they work and everything. Yeah, how banks work and stuff, right? Economics class, duh. And so when we get there, we're chilling. Niggas are talking. I'm doing my shit. I'm always in my own world. And they give us juice. Keep this memory there, alright? They give us juice, just for being there and everything and sitting there and listening. So I'm drinking my juice and enjoying myself. And after the field trip is over, they tell us we can go to the supermarket and get some stuff before we go to school, right? So hella people enter the supermarket. We're like, I don't even know, 30. Nah, maybe not that many, like 20. Yeah, like 20 students all going into one little supermarket. And so I'm chilling with I'm with my friends. I'm like, yo, this would be the best time to to steal something, right? To shoplift, because like there's so many people, no one would notice, right? So niggas are like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'm not a bitch. Let me fucking do this shit, right? Stupid mucho. So I get a chocolate bar, like these fancy chocolate bars. One costs like 3 or 4K. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get it, straight in the pocket, Walk out like a boss. No one has caught me. I'm walking far. I go to my friends, I show it to them. We put it in a backpack, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. That wasn't enough. So I'm like, fuck that. That wasn't enough. So I'm like, all right, let me go back get some, something better. So I go back in, and I have the school jacket on, right? So I'm walking around, looking at what I could take, and I'm like, you know what? Let me see how fucking cold I am. Like, let's see how raw of a person I am, right? So I go, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let me get Pringles, bitch. The big ass stick of Pringles. I'm thinking, how am I gonna sneak this out? So I take it, I walk around the corner. I did notice one of the workers was looking at me, right? But I'm like, no, let me just keep walking around. Maybe she'll look away. So I'm walking around, and then real quick, just zip up the jacket, walk out that bit. And as I'm walking out, now the thing is, this is the craziest part. As I'm walking out, there's this guy, he crumpled up his receipt and was throwing it at someone, right? And as he was throwing it at someone, it hit me on the way, and I caught it, right? And I caught it, and then I opened it. As I was walking out, I just caught it, and I opened it, and I just looked, like, just out of curiosity. And this is what I see. Literally, I think God had given me a chance. This is what I see on the receipt: Pringles and mango juice. I remember the juice we had earlier. Yeah. So I'm like, bet this is perfect. And I walk out, and this worker stopped me. Yo. This guy's stealing. Yo, teachers, like 2 teachers come, boom, boom. They take me, put me like on my knees, bro. I'm like, y'all are overreacting. And they're like, he's stealing, look at his jacket, there's something in his jacket. And I go, so they tell me to open my jacket, so I open my jacket, and I take out the Pringles, and then, but I'm like, no, I paid for these. They're like, no, you didn't. We didn't see you at the cashier. And I'm like, look, this is my receipt, right? So I show them the receipt, I'm like, look, Pringles and mango juice, and I go in my bag and I remove the mango juice from earlier. So I'm like, look, I bought this shit, right? And they're like, why'd you put it in your jacket? That's sus, right? Like, you understand why we'd freak out? And I was like, I didn't want anyone asking me for my Pringles. I wanted them for myself. You get me? So the teachers were like, all right, no, that makes sense. And the workers were a bit confused, but they let me go. So I'm outie, bro. I'm outie going to my niggas. I showed them, and I was like, I'm lit, And we get back to school, everything's okay. I'm eating these Pringles, I'm going fucking crazy, all this shit, chocolate too. And as we're doing this, we're eating in like the shed, which is like the waiting area for when you're waiting for your parents to come pick you up. So right by the gate of the whole school. And yeah, as we're eating, celebrating our victories, we see the worker coming down from the shop. So we're like, fuck. I see it, I'm like, fuck. Now what, bro? They won't let this slide. It's literally just a box of Pringles. Like, it's not that deep. So we're still doing our thing though. And then later I'm about to go to my 6th period class, I think. Yeah, right after lunch. They call me to the office. So I'm like, here we go again. So I go to the office. There's this principal, this white guy. I think it was Australian or British, one of the two. And he's there yelling at me with this accent. They looked at the footage. You didn't go to the cashier. Blah 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 blah. Getting like, he was getting so angry. His face was turning red. Yeah. I'll be back. Alright, so anyway, sorry for the interruption. I am back. Now, where was that? Yeah, so they called me to the office. He's yelling at me. He's like, they checked the camera footage. You didn't go to the cashier. Blah, you stole. Why are you giving this image of the school? They already have a lot of different thoughts about Green Hills students. Like, for those of you who don't know about Green Hills or anything like that, like, I guess we had a reputation. Like, I don't know. Some people, at least from what I've heard, Green Hills students have a reputation of being like snobby, or dickheads, shit like that. They get fucked up a lot, like stuff like that. Like, but I don't, and I think a lot of people in Kigali are like that. But anyways, yeah. So they're like, why are you giving this image to the school? Blah blah. I'm like, yo, to this point, I'm still denying. I'm like, no, I did not take anything. I paid for that. I showed my receipt. Blah 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 blah. They're like, why didn't they see on the camera? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Maybe they didn't look through everything, right? And now I'm starting to get angry so that it can match his energy and he can maybe believe me, right? So he's like, all right, let's go up. Let's go see the camera together, all right? Like, let's go. Just the two of us go back up to the store and watch the camera. If you don't pop up, then they'll get the police involved. And if you do, I mean, yeah, and if you do pop up, then they'll apologize and everything. And I'm like, all right, bet, let's go. So we get out of his office. I'm walking, and he's still talking this entire time. He's like, yo, if the police gets involved with this, it's not just a school issue anymore. This is criminal, blah, blah, blah. Where you get in a lot of trouble. Mind you, I'm like 15. I'm about to turn 16 that month. So deep down, I'm thinking like, that's not going to be a lot of trouble. But at the same time, I'm like, my mom is going to fucking murder me if this like gets to that point. So we're at the gate of the school, and he stops. He's like, do you really want to do this? I'm like, yes, let's go check the camera. So we walk up the hill, and as we get to the top of the hill, I don't know what the fuck hit me, but I realized how stupid I was for what I was doing. So I was like, actually, nah, let me tell you the truth. I stole it. I stole it. And yeah, I'm sorry, bro. He got so mad. He's like, you made me walk all the way up here, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we go back to the school, everything. They call my parents. My mom. They call my mom, and I'm like, damn. Yeah, it was fucked. I go down to boarding. I have to get all my shit. The nigga driver comes to pick me up. It's just looking bad. It's looking bad. And fun fact, if it wasn't for the head of boarding, who was my nigga, by the way, Claudia, shout out to you. If it wasn't for her, I would have been expelled. But they just gave me a 2-week suspension. which then fell into April break. So I really was like out of school for like a month, which was, it wasn't that bad. I mean, at home she was because because the funniest part is I went home and and one of my uncles, like, he came up to the room. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, home from school, right? I'm in boarding." So he's like, "What are you doing home from school?" And I'm chilling, watching a movie, eating the same box of Pringles. So he's like, "What are you doing home from school?" I'm like, and my, I don't know, I think, I don't really remember this very clearly, but I think my mom had told me not to like talk to anyone until I talked to her. So when he asked me, I was like, "No, I'm gonna wait for mommy to explain myself, right?" Yeah, and then that night when I explained myself, it was like, "That box of Pringles you were eating in your room," and I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So did I get a whooping? No, I don't think I got a whooping for that. Nah, I think they were way too disappointed to give me a whooping. But yeah, that's how I got suspended for shoplifting. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and be ready for tomorrow's story.